A shadow person is the appearance of a vague, black silhouette, most often resembling a humanoid form, that moves as if a living entity. Believers in the paranormal around the world interpret shadow people as the presence of spiritual being, and even supposed skeptics have encountered such mysterious entities. Here's 3 stories of alleged encounters. By Reddit user WildViolette, first paranormal photo post on here, and have had this photo for a year now. So be easy on me please. I've never shown my photos to anyone, but I really want to, so here is my leap of courage, so to speak. This is in southwest Missouri. The house has always had activity during the 17 years my family has lived here. Shadow figures have been seen frequently, but usually inside the house. The backyard has a creepy vibe, and the feeling of being watched, or not alone while out there is usual. On this day, I felt that particular way pretty strongly, so I started taking pictures using my phone. This is the only photo in which something apparently appeared. I see what looks to me like a shadow figure standing to the left of the shed. It looks like the eyes are glowing white and a mouth with a slight grin that is also glowing white. I really don't think this is pareidolia, as there's an empty space there between the foliage and the shed. I really don't know what else this could be, so I feel as though this perhaps may be a shadow person. By Reddit user So Says Clucifer, I have never before the incident heard, or was even mentioned to, the existence of shadow people, which I am choosing to categorize this encounter as. When I was in 6th grade as I recall, about 11 years old, I was invited to a party at a local park by a fellow classmate. I live in Las Vegas, so parks tend to consist of a playground, an adequate grass field for sports and a walkway surrounding. This particular park happened to be surrounded by 6 to 7 foot brick walls all around, except the front of the park which lead to the street, and a single doorway white entrance opposite of that in the back which lead to a neighboring apartment complex. After a day of playing as most kids tend to, it was time to go home. We were tasked with collecting all of my friends' younger brothers and sisters. There were 4 of us same-aged kids actively looking for about 7 or so younger children. The park wasn't too huge, and there was only one brick building which served as the restrooms by the front. The kids weren't too hard to find. But this is where things take a turn towards the paranormal. Halfway through the park we see a dark figure of what appears to be a small child. Thinking it was one of the siblings we were looking for, we naturally start running towards it. At this point the figure is making a dash toward the back of the park, so we give chase and start yelling at the child to stop. As this dark, black-colored figure is reaching the end, the most messed up, completely spookiest thing I have ever seen in my life ensues next. The dark childlike figure turns white, starts running on all fours for like 10 feet, runs up a tree like a cat, and uses the elevation to jump over the wall to the apartment complex. We ran out of terror back to the front of the park. The figure was completely solid, and I have 3 eyewitnesses that can back my claim. I always pull this story out whenever me and friends have paranormal discussions. By Reddit user Brushing. My encounter happened way back when I was 5 or 6. We were living in an older house then, but I was too young to know the details of its history. Anyway, onto the story. It's always taken me forever to get to sleep. Back then, I would just sit in my bedroom with the lights out until I passed out. I was laying in bed, doing my nightly routine, when a shadow pulled itself away from a dark corner of my room and began walking toward the door. It was regular height and solid black. I remember not being afraid but curious. I'd never heard any kind of scary stories at that point in my life, so I had no clue what I was seeing other than someone was now slowly walking out of my room. I got up and followed this hazy black figure down our moonlit hallway. I distinctly remember trying to reach out and touch it, thinking it was maybe my mom or dad just checking on me, but my hand just passed right through it. That's when I realized something wasn't right. I froze and continued to watch this thing noiselessly glide down the hall and reach the top of our staircase. It did just what any person would have done and walked down the stairs. Once again, it did all of this without a sound on what were notoriously creaky stairs. It disappeared into the inky darkness of our ground floor, and I remember finally panicking as I realized I just saw something I wasn't supposed to see. Luckily, it never acknowledged my presence. It just appeared, walked, and disappeared. I never saw anything else in that house or told anyone what I saw, but my sister told our mom she was scared of the man sitting inside on her windowsill that was telling her she would be okay. The freaky thing about that is she came down with a serious kidney disease a few weeks later and had to be hospitalized for a while.